Before going into the topic details, I want to bring your attention to the UPSC coaching programs offered by ClearIAS. ClearIAS offers online and offline courses to help candidates get selected for prestigious government services like IAS, IPS, or IFS. ClearIAS Prelims cum Mains (PCM) course provides a highly effective study plan, well-organized subject-wise videos, study materials, mock exams, and guidance to cover the entire GS syllabus of UPSC CSE prelims, mains, and interview systematically. As a limited-period offer, there is a 40% discount on our online courses. Enroll now.
So you can see over here the preamble of the Indian Constitution, which is another feature of the Constitution of India. So in fact, you can say that the preamble is a feature, the fundamental right is a feature, the fundamental duty, the directive principle of state policy, secular state is a feature. All those things can be understood as the features of the Constitution of India. Now, what does the preamble of the Indian Constitution speaks about? The preamble says, the preamble is known as the identity card of the Indian Constitution, isn't it? And why do we say that the preamble is the identity card? Because the shortest possible information which will provide you the identity of a particular person is what do you mean by identity card. So similarly, when it is Constitution of India, a person can understand the Constitution by just reading the preamble of the Indian Constitution. So the preamble says that we the people of India, so the power lies with the people of India, which means the people of India gives the power to the Constitution of India to be the supreme law of the land. So now you may say that, sir, in the Constituent Assembly, there was only indirect election. Then how will you say that it was the Constituent Assembly or the people of India giving the power to the preamble or the Constitution of India to be the supreme law of the land? Suppose if the interview board asks you, how will you counter it? The answer is that you should say that it was 1950 or it was 1947-48 period, and the problem was that it was the time of partition even, and there was riots and chaos in and around India. It was not possible to conduct a free and a fair election at that particular time. So that is the reason why we have decided that we will go for the indirect election. So it was not possible for India to think about a kind of election that will be conducted today, to get conducted on that particular days, because of the problems in the execution of law and order. So it was best possible for India to think about only indirect election, and with that indirect election, there was all the accepted members who had the appealing power to the people of India became part of the Constituent Assembly. So in that regard, you can say that the Constituent Assembly was representative or participative. Fine. So that is how you can counter it. Still there can be question. Yeah. So the source of power lies with the people of India, which means the people of India gave the power to the Constitution to be the supreme law of the land. Now, what does the second bold letter say? We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into. So these are the nature of the Indian Constitution. The nature of the Constitution of India. What are the nature of the Constitution of India? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. But two terms, secular and socialist, it was inserted by only the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Originally, these two words were not mentioned in the preamble of the Indian Constitution. Fine. So, original Constitution was, or original preamble was We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens. There was no socialist, there was no secular. Now, what do you mean by sovereign? Sovereign means independent. We does not want to depend on any external power to decide our matters. We are independent. At the same time, we are a friend of the US and Russia. At the same time, India is a friend of Israel and Palestine. This is what is sovereign. We are independent. Now, you may ask that, sir, if you are independent, then why do you want it to be still part of the United Nations? Why do you still want it to be part of the British Commonwealth? The United Nations is predominated by the 5 nations, the P5 nations. The British Commonwealth is still under the authority of the British Crown. Why India is a member of these associations? The answer Pandit Nehru has given was that India was a nascent democracy. India was just starting democracy. And there was nothing left in the Indian exchequer. And now India will have to discover all possible partnerships. So that is the reason why we are ratifying the membership in the United Nations as well as in the British Commonwealth. We will follow the policy of multi-alignment. That is what Mr. Jayashankar, S. Jayashankar also says, multi-alignment. We does not say that we are non-aligned. We are multi-aligned. We need Russia. We need US. US is a strategic partner. Russia is a traditional partner. Russia has always stood with India. You would have heard about the friendship treaty and all, isn't it? Always Russia had stood up with India. So that is what a sovereignty means. Sovereignty means it is independence. Now, what is socialism? Distribution of material resources by the government to the individuals. Equal distribution. Yes, very good. It drives on the principle of equality, isn't it? Now, is that the socialism that is provided in the preamble of the Indian Constitution? No. In the Indian Constitution, we have a different socialism, which means this socialism is democratic socialism. And what does that mean? It is not the Marxist or the communist socialism. So Marxist or communist socialism means the government will take all the material resources and the government will distribute it equally to all. This will make the people lazy, isn't it? The people will start feeling that why should I prepare for the UPSC? The government is equally distributing the resources. Why should I use my sleep all over the night and prepare for examination? Even if I clear the examination, my resources will be taken away by the government. It will equally distribute it. The people will start feeling that. That is the reason why we have adopted a different socialism, and this socialism is democratic socialism, or you can say that it is a mixed economy, which means private plus public. You may have the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in the health sector. At the same time, you may have the Amrita Institute of Medical Science at the health sector. Which means even the private players will have the equal opportunity to compete with the government sector. So it is equality of opportunity that will be given. This is what is Indian brand of socialism. Fine. So that is a different socialism. Now the second one. Third one is secular. What do you mean by secular? What do you mean by secular? Yeah. Tell me. Freedom to follow any religion. Okay. State separate from religion. So can you say that India is secular? If state is separate from religion, can you say that India is secular? See, secular means do not forget this. A very, very important concept. The term secular means no official religion for the state. Which means the government of India does not have a religion. It is not Hindu Republic of India. It is not Islamic Republic of India. It is not Christian Republic of India. It is just Republic of India. But the individuals may have a religion. Isn't it? There are two types of secularism. One is positive secularism. The other one is negative secularism. So in United States of America, you see this negative concept of secularism. In India, you see this positive concept of secularism. Both US and India is secular, which means the government does not have a religion. Individuals have religion. What is negative secularism? Negative secularism means there is a separation of religion and the state. Which means state will not interfere in the religious matters in America. You may practice untouchability, you may practice misogyny, does not matter. We will not interfere in your religious matters. But in India, that is not the case. In India, if this is the state, this is the religion. Sir, if the religion is violating the law of the land, the rule of the land, suppose if the religion is practicing untouchability, suppose if the religion is practicing immoral traffic, suppose if the religion is practicing misogynistic activities, the state will interfere, and that is what you have seen in the Sabarimala case. Isn't it? It was a religious matter, but the state still has the power to interfere. Why? Because it is violation of the right of an individual. Isn't it? So the state interferes in the religious matters in India if it violates a fundamental right, which means basically, can you go for a human sacrifice saying that it is part of your religious belief? If you go for a human sacrifice, that is violation of right to life of the victim. Can you practice untouchability? No. Why? Because if you practice untouchability, that is violation of the right against untouchability of any other person. If you practice Devdasi system in the name of your religion, that is violation of the right to life, the choice and dignity of the lady who has got included or victimized with that. So the state will interfere. And with simple examples, you may see that if there are processions or celebrations as part of the temple or mosque or church, the police gives the protection for the demonstrations. They will regulate the traffic. Isn't it? Why? Because they support your religious belief. They give you public holidays. The regional holidays, especially if it comes with Attugal Pugala in Trivandrum, you will be given a regional holiday. Why? Because we are supporting your religion, and as we support the Hindu religious activities, we will support the Muslim religious activities also. You would have heard about the Hajj quota, isn't it? The Hajj subsidy. Yeah, that is how we respect it. The Jew street in Fort Kochi allocates a single day for the prayer of the Jewish community in Fort Kochi. Monday, there is no entry for the tourists to the synagogue, which means the state is sacrificing the revenue of tourists for the sake of the religious aspect of Jewish community. So we does not care about the strength, the financial capability of that particular religion. We are supporting them for their religious activities. So in India, there is no clear separation between the state and religion. The state will interfere in the religious matters, but equally towards all religion. In America, that is not the case. There is a clear separation between the religion and the state. And that is the reason why it is negative secularism. And in India, it is positive secularism. Clear? Fine. So, secular basically means there is no official religion for the state. Clear? Fine? Yeah. So, that is what the secular means. Democratic means, it is for the people, by the people, and of the people. That is what is democracy. And finally, there is republic. So democracy means you need to understand that. How can you make it sure that India is a democracy? Elections. Okay. So elections are conducted in China also. So can you say that China is the largest democracy in the world? Then why do you say that India is the largest democracy? Is it only because of elections? No. The elections should be free and fair. In China, the problem is that the Communist Party of China will only gain the power. But that is not the case with India. If Bharatiya Janata Party is not performing well, they will move out of the power. They will have to move out of the power. And that is what you have seen in this election. There was a retaliation from the INDI alliance. After 2 successive terms of the NDA or the Bharatiya Janata Party, which may be able to claim the government formation in its own capability in 2014 as well as in 2019. But that was not the case in 2024. Why? Because the elections were free and fair. Now the Indian National Congress does not speak about the EVM tampering. Isn't it? They were relentlessly speaking about the EVM tampering. There was one leader who said that if the Bharatiya Janata Party is getting more than 350 seats, I will definitely doubt EVMs. Come on. How can those political leaders make that statement? There was a hackathon conducted by the Election Commission of India, and they have invited all the political parties, IT wing, to come and hack EVM. And one political party did not even send their representative, and that was Indian National Congress. And they say that EVM is hacked. It is hackable. No. Until now, we are not supposed to think about the EVMs getting hacked. He should prove that. Isn't it? He should prove that. Just claiming some things, sitting here and there in a air-conditioned room, criticizing the festival of democracy like this won't make no sense. He should come and participate and prove that the electronic voting machines can be tampered. Nobody is able to do that. So that is what you need to understand. The elections needs to be free and fair, and even the election needs to be regular. It is not just like one election conducted in 2024, the next election 2029, then 2039, then 2079. No. We should have regular, free and fair elections. Right? And republic means what? Republic means the head of the state is elected, which means the President of India, who is the constitutional head, is elected. And that is how we say that India is republic. Fine? That is the reason why we say that India is republic. So, in Britain, the head of the state is not elected. It is a hereditary transformation. Monarch, the king or crown, you may say. So, that is a hereditary transformation of the headship, or you may say that the head of the state is not elected and it is a hereditary transformation of power. But in India, this position is elected, and that is the reason why we say that India is republic. So what do you mean by Republic Day? Is it the day in which the President of India is getting elected? Okay. So Republic also has another interpretation, that democracy becomes successful only if there is a republic, which means republic means the commencement of the Constitution of India. Can you think about a democracy without republic? You just imagine democracy without republic means democracy without the Constitution of India. There can be a tendency of the leader who has democratically elected by the people to be authoritarian in nature, like a dictator. Even if there is a constitution, there can be instances of overcoming the provisions of the constitution. If there is no constitution, then he may just act like a dictator. So that is the reason why we say that Jan 26 of 1950 is Republic Day. And the objectives of the Constitution is justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. One day is mentioned, that is 26th day of November 1949, which is the adoption day, enactment day of the Constitution of India. So this is what is the preamble. So these are the objectives. What are the objectives? Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity.